Here we go. All right, Miss Lovely Sharmeen, how are you?
I am so good, Riley. How are you?
I am amazing. Sharmeen, thank you so much for kind of coming on and having a conversation with us. And I just am so excited for your progress and what's happening for you within your business and all of those beautiful things. And so people, Sharmeen is a current student in the mastermind. And she also went through a program that we just launched in May called 30 Days to Launch. Okay, and in 30 Days to Launch, she went through from starting, not having anything to doing a step-by-step process to launch a live event. And she had some really cool numbers come out from that event. Now, before we get to that, though, I know you want to know about the numbers. Before we get to that, let's first talk about what your experience was kind of before the mastermind and how that's transpired. Like, where were you before you started?
So, before I started the mastermind, I was highly optimistic and I was kind of in this fairyland place where I thought, I was in another mastermind as well, and that mastermind was already stretching myself to be a little bit outside of my comfort zone. And I was starting to implement some of the strategies and they were working. But the by the time the sales calls started coming along, I was like overwhelmed. One, with the time suck, like it literally sucked out all the time of all the day, and then the endless follow up, right? So it got old pretty fast. And I literally didn't want to do that, right? And so I wanted to stop doing and start being. So it's funny that you said that earlier today because I literally posted that on Facebook the other day. So we're on the same vibe, but I wanted to stop doing kind of the same old thing. I wanted to be the person that people came to because they saw that I solved their problem. And so I knew that I was getting people on these calls, but I was trying to honestly follow a script and edit the script so that it sounded like me and try to remember what the script said and all of those things. And so I was in a place that I was getting frustrated with the lack of, well, I'm doing all the work and the strategy and it's getting there, but nothing is fruitful coming out of it. I'm not actually making any connections with women and being able to support them fully because they're not saying yes to the program.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, I hear that. And thank you so much for sharing like very openly in
Yeah.
that way, Charmaine. I appreciate it. I genuinely do. What do you think have been some of the key takeaways for you of your experience so far?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there's so many takeaways. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I feel, Riley, you make things that so simple, very bite-sized action. So I'm talking about the 30 days to launch, and I actually did the 30 days to launch back to back because it was that effective, that fun, and that easy to follow in terms of step-by-step actions. So I found that to be very, very helpful. But my biggest takeaway is the conversation process. It's the listening. It's the listening process. It's the behavioral types process, which we shared today. And am I allowed to share things like that happen
Yeah.
behind the closed doors, like the cues and all of the extra things that we do right in the mastermind? And I'll be honest, it finally feels like I've been heard. That's one of your strengths, if I will say. But I finally found a method that is a perfect match to my own intuitive personality. So there's no scripts. There's no trying to edit the scripts. It's just following, you don't teach us how to follow the scripts, but you teach us how to have a conversation. You teach us the skills needed to to listen to the client. Hmm.
What about your growth, Sharmeen? And I mean, I could talk all about this myself, but I want to hear it from you. So where do you
Yeah.
see that you have grown kind of as a leader so
Yes.
far?
So as soon as I stopped convincing, right, I really started to take a bold step and step into my power. Because the practice, the feedback inside of the mastermind, it's exactly what I needed, right? Because nobody does this. They tell you what to say or how to say it or whatever, but they don't practice with you over Messenger. They don't practice with you on the call where you're viewing facial expressions and all of those things. It never happens. But when we practice, and we all know this, and I love the science behind things, but when we practice, we really are learning a new way of doing things, and we get better and better and more natural at it. So that's what I really, really love. And stepping into my leadership really means that I have been able to do the 30 days to launch back to back twice in a row. And I'm going to be doing it again because it is that effective. So, yeah, and it's really, yeah, I would say that that's really what it is. It's that confidence to say, I'm not trying to convince you to buy a service from me. I'm just trying to see if this is going to be a good fit for both of us. And if it is, then I will invite you in to the program. And it's still up to the client at the end of the day, right? There's no pressure. There's no pressure. I love
It's
that.
it's freeing when there's no pressure.
Oh,
It's freeing.
yes, and I like to use the term like liberating. It's so liberating
Mm.
because selling. So another takeaway, it's a little mindset shift, right? Because we've heard the whole idea that we need to um, selling is a gift and all of that stuff. But in the program, because we're practicing, we're embodying the whole process of selling. We're embodying the selling is a gift phrase. We're becoming it because we're inviting the person to work with us. We're not convincing them. Um, and I actually was on a call with a woman whom I absolutely adore. And she was interested in my new 8-week portal. And having a connection call with her, I realized it's not the right fit. I love her, but it's not the right fit. And so I, instead of offering something that wasn't the right fit, I offered her some one-to-one sessions, and here we are. She's back to working with me because that was what she needed. And I stepped into my leadership as a professional. I made the decision. I didn't say you have this option and this option. I said, this is the option that you need. And she was
Yes,
and
I
I
love
learned that
that.
from you 100% that we make the decision because we're the leaders. We're the leaders on the call. We're the experts with the solution to their problem that we're happy to help. Yeah.
So good, Charmaine. So we would love, I know we'd love to hear kind of any of the wins and like there's a special percentage you had when it came to the 30 days to you that I just heard about as we were talking beforehand. So that would be good too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So the 30 days to launch, I believe, I don't, you're going to have to do the percentage because my brain doesn't do that. So I believe we had, and I'm going to actually pull up the numbers, but it was around, let's say, 100 people. And then
Mhm.
I got on to very few calls, like maybe 6 calls. I got into maybe six, probably five. I want to say 5 calls. Four said yes.
That's an 80% conversion rate. That's an 80% conversion rate. That's ridiculous. Right? Like the best salespeople in the game have between a 30 and a 40% conversion rate. That's a good that's what people celebrate. Like, yes, we got 3 people out of 10 to say yes. Like it's insane. Insane. Um, so good. So good, Charmaine. Oh my gosh, so excited. And I know that you're only going to continue to kill it and to see more growth and all of those things. And I'm just thankful for you because you do add some very special flavor to our container.
Thank you so much, Riley. And I would just like to add, because I have to say, yes, it's a high percentage, and that's amazing. The other thing that we get from being in the container, and I can speak from my own experience, but energetically, I can feel it from the entire container as a whole. We're constantly inspired by you as our coach. And honestly, when I'm having I'm not feeling it, I'm kind of having a dull, rainy work day, I'll throw on one of the mastermind call recordings so that I can get re-inspired to do that work. Right? It's like I just need to hear a little Riley, a little dose of Riley, and then I'm good to go and take that action, take the inspired action, take the imperfect action, or I'll send you a little note in the DMs, right? And it's like, I want that for my business as well. You not only teach us the strategy, you embody it in real time for us, which is it's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. And I'm so, so grateful for you. So thank you.
Charmaine, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Like we can't, we're supposed to be high vibe here, Charmaine. You can't have me tearing up because we're having that.
I know, sorry.
Thank you.
You're so
Thank you.
awesome. I love you so much. I could just talk about you all day, but I won't.
That's okay. So, guys, say thank you to Charmaine, please, for being amazing and for sharing her experiences. So powerful, and like, it just continues. I love seeing people's results. I love seeing what people are working on, and I'm so proud of everyone that's kind of in our container, because it's like those type of results are not the abnormal. Those type of results are the norm, and that's what makes it a very special place to be in.